Good morning, everyone. This is Kathy Mason from Conscious Business Zone. Today with Stephen Dynako. Hi, Stephen. How are
Hey,
you?
hi Kathy. I'm well. Good to see you again.
Well, Stephen has been a guest on Conscious Business Zone in its infancy, but now he's come back because he's got this really cool project I want everyone to know about called Social Chrysalis. So, Stephen, tell us a little bit about how this project started.
Yeah. Thanks, Kathy.
Uh-huh.
It was absolutely inspired by Barbara Marx Hubbard and my partnership with her. I think a lot of people will know, but not everybody will, that I partnered with Barbara literally in the last program of her life here on Earth before she went to the other side of the veil.
Yeah.
And it was a program called the Evolutionary Ambassador Academy. And just really a powerful experience in doing that with Barbara. And the thing that really I was very mindful of and just very impressed by was and is Barbara's just this really deep impulse that she had and has. I'm going to put it in the present tense as well, to build up and to train and to encourage evolutionaries. And with the particular program, the Ambassador Academy, it was very much about encouraging and building up people to take action, to take the principles of conscious evolution and really bring them to Earth and then apply them in whatever sector of the wheel people were drawn to. So, and Barbara transitioned 8 weeks into a 12-week program. So, we all had a sacred duty to continue and to finish. And then once the program ended, I had gotten really quickly a hit that in order not only to continue Barbara's legacy, but to continue this process and this forward motion of training and building up evolutionaries, that Social Chrysalis was a platform that I could build to lend my genius, to join genius with others who might otherwise they might want to do online programmings, but the hurdle might be high, the technical hurdle. And I've done video and audio media production for years. Right. So for me, I'm very much a fish in water when I'm doing this stuff. And I realize a lot of people, it's a barrier because it's overwhelming to produce all of this. So I thought, well, let me join my genius with others and help people who have got really strong content and want to put themselves out there in a much more bold way online. Right. And Social Chrysalis is a platform where we're building transformational programs around the principles of conscious evolution, and I'm offering my genius to others who want to bring those programs to life in the online channel. So that's how it birthed itself.
Okay. Well, I knew if for the audience, if you don't know about Barbara Marx Hubbard, I would suggest that you look her up. She was a futurist and brilliant woman. And she was able to see into possibilities and saw as 2012 was a rebirth rather than everyone's worried and talking now about breakdown. And her inspiration was that, no, it's a rebirth, that you've got to condense and then rebuild, just like a plant goes to seed. And then the next spring, the plant, the new plant emerges. And that's what we're doing. So Barbara's work was not all of it was, how do I say, tangible. A lot of it was in your heart and in your soul. So it touched you in deep ways, but it wasn't always ways that you could implement it. Great ideas. But what Stephen's done, and he's done all along, you guys, is that he's made a lot of these great concepts usable. And that's why I'm so glad that we're friends and I get to watch all of this, and hooray for what you're doing. Because I know that making classes or sharing people's knowledge is one thing, but doing all the technology that goes with it is another. Plus, this new social chrysalis platform will be, once there's enough content there, it will bring you other customers, because as people go to watch another program, they will see yours, right? That's the concept?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it really, it was very clear to me from the beginning, it's a co-creation. And this is, you know, again, one of Barbara's concepts of that coming together, and we're that we're exponentially more powerful together than working as individuals in silos. So for me, I liken the social chrysalis platform as like a co-op. Yeah. That it's a collective contribution, and that every contributor, as they put the word out about their programs, they are not only building up their image and their visibility, but the visibility of all of the other contributors.
That's right. So you guys, we may be seeing the beginning of the Shift Network or the beginning of Gaia TV. You may be seeing another and Sociology, which is another platform that's going to be for conscious people. You're seeing all of these wonderful platforms emerging that are going to be places where you can get content that is not distorted, that's uplifting, and that is creative. This is a creative way to look at life. It's not the old paradigm, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, and it's recognizing that there are so many people, and I think we inherently know this, but in our culture, we get like there are a certain few that get a lot of visibility, and we all kind of gravitate to what they're doing, and we all have genius, right? And it doesn't mean that we all have to produce content online. And it also means that there are a lot of us that would love to do more online if we have the opportunity to do that. And that's what I'm aiming for, right? To give people who haven't necessarily sold 1 million books the platform, because I've been transformed so much by what people have taught me, and they're not necessarily famous, or they didn't write 1 million books, right? So, and I think we all have had that experience. So if
that's my whole business, actually, is helping all of these unknown people get visible as far as they're comfortable. See, that's the other part of it, is that there's some psyche to being that visible when you've been comfortable being this visible.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Yeah.
But, and it's not for everyone, and that's and it's whatever level of visibility you're comfortable with, or want to kind of step up to the edge of. I feel like I'm here to help with that.
Right. Well, that's why I think you guys said. I mean, as some of you know, I do similar work. I do the product. I create the marketing and the branding and the products that could go on this platform for customers and for myself. Just started doing it for myself. It's mostly been for everyone else. And for this, my 20th year of doing this. And so I understand what it's like to be the midwife of this and help people reflect back to them their greatness like you do. I'm sure a lot of the people are still working on their program when they come to you. It isn't all ready to go. Right?
It's different phases, different stages.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a wonderful experience, and you can tell you're a constant learner, because that's the joy. That same with me. Yeah. It's so cool. So how do you see this? Do you see having hundreds of programs on this platform, or do you see that it's like 30 and you're real exclusive? How do you see the, like, it for 2020? What do you see?
Yeah. Well, for 2020, I see, and it's amazing because like the people who are showing up, who are wanting to publish, it's amazing. Like I'm actually really grateful, and it's been a big lesson in intention for me, because I thought I was going to spend a lot of effort promoting to recruit contributors, and the contributors are showing up. So that's really powerful.
Yeah.
But to your question, I feel like perhaps 2020, there's maybe a few dozen programs and maybe more. And then as time goes on, that will build, because I see the catalog expanding. And the way I also see it is that people can then create their own curriculum. You know, so if you look at, so Barbara's wheel of co-creation, was all these different sectors of society, right? Everything from environment to the arts to spirituality to governance and so forth. And if you're interested in if you're drawn to work in a certain sector, my vision is that there would be a series of courses available, and you can customize your own curriculum, you know, for the courses that in that sector. And
so like a Udemy kind of thing, where you'd go in and there's a search bar where you could search for the topic.
Yeah.
And see all that's the way you're envisioning it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And then so like Udemy, you go in there and somebody has a course up for $99, and then all of a sudden there's a special that they're running it for $19.99. Is that also your concept, where you might be able to run promotions through there? Or do you feel like it's all solid information that'll always stay?
Yeah, I'm open to it being fluid in that sense. So going back to this concept of creating your own curriculum. So if somebody was looking at, if there were 3 courses that you really wanted to take, and let's say each of those courses was priced at, you know, $297, and maybe that was a little rich for you, but if you want to take them as a package and you feel that would really be helpful, I'm looking at ways then to provide, if you commit to the 3, there will be some sort of discount.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. And so is there also, so some of the sites, I wish I would have gone in it and checked it so I could ask more intelligent questions.
Yeah.
Some of the sites have gamification, is what they call it, where you know where you are, like, good job, you've done 2/3 of your class.
Sure. There's a component of that in the platform. So I'm building it off a platform that's got elements of that already plugged in. So as you go through, you'll be able to track your progress. You'll get those nice affirmative. Great job. And I'm going to customize those too. So there is a certain gamification element to it that's in the platform. Yeah.
Cool. So as far as you can see, it's almost like you build it and they will show up, they will come. It's almost like the Field of Dreams. It was such a pertinent, creative, brilliant idea that as soon as people heard about it, they wanted to play, right?
Yeah, well, for sure. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the people who are showing up wanting to contribute content, yeah, absolutely. And then the thing that's really important that I feel like I want to affirm with this platform is that my vision was really clear. And this was the spirit of the Evolutionary Ambassador Academy, was helping to prepare people for the planetary awakening, right? So with all, like, I completely honor the work that Barbara did in this deepest heart's desire realm, you know, and building up groups of 8 and people coming together to support one another. And this is different from that. So this can be based in the deepest heart's desire principles. And then it's all about taking action. Like, so we can come together and support one another in groups, whether they're large or small. And then my vision very clearly for the platform is now, okay, let's take that consciousness plus the skills and the information we need to actually do the transformation in those sectors of the wheel of co-creation. So it's, so I see, so my, I'm really clear about, like, this is a platform to train those who are showing up for the planetary awakening and playing a very active role.
Right, right. Well, what's brilliant about Barbara's wheel, and maybe you could talk about that a little bit too. There's 12 sections to it, and so it goes from everywhere from the arts to science to education. I'm trying to remember all the 12 parts.
Environment, governance.
Okay. And so what she was saying is basically that there's a new solution that's going to be emerging that isn't this old paradigm that we're in, which obviously you can see it's not functioning. And hopefully technology is a big reason why this new paradigm is going to work, because now you're being able to see and feel and experience what's happening everywhere, and information can be shared very quickly, very accessible to new information. And what Barbara had said is that these new concepts for each one of these fields were going to come out of these little groups that you're talking about, right? Yeah. Could you talk about that? So, because I think people understand you. I want them to understand you, because I think you're so humble about who you are and what you do. And I think a lot of this is this whole project, Social Chrysalis, which I'm showing, is an outward expression of you. Yeah. So however you want to explain, because you're a teacher, this could be your platform as well.
Yeah. 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 And it's funny because I have everything that's being built on it right now are programs by other contributors.
Of course.
So I have my own ideas for programs I could produce on it, which eventually I think I will. And right now, most of my energy is devoted to producing the other offering. So
I've been doing this for 20 years, and I'll be finishing somebody's stuff, and it's like, why didn't I do mine?
Right. Yeah. But to your point, I think it's really important, though, like to your earlier point about like being the midwife for this, because it's a really important role. To be the catalyst for bringing these things to life and to help others birth their creations.
You're holding the space for it, because there's nothing but a reflection of their divinity in your presence.
Yeah.
That's what you do, Stephen.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And you won't admit it. I'm trying to get you to.
Yeah. I receive that for sure. I receive that. I appreciate it. And I see this as well as it's a culmination of all of my experience being integrated. And I think we're all, all of us who are doing this evolutionary work are doing that. We're integrating. We're always integrating. And my professional background has been in, corporate America, doing kind of the typical corporate America thing as a manager and a producer. I've been in the media, I've done helping work, in the ministry. So now it's all coming together.
Yeah.
And it's in the interest of evolution, right? So Barbara is like, as a self-aware species, we can make the choice not to evolve. It's not left up to random events and chance. We actually can participate in our evolution.
Right.
And I feel really strongly about, like, working with Barbara made that so clear to me.
Right.
That we have this choice, and it doesn't always come easy.
Of course.
Because you realize that there's so much of a letting go of one's ego in order to be of service. And especially when you're looking at like a planetary service, like my interest is in the evolution of the species. So then I'm part of that, but it's not all about me.
Right.
And so for me, the platform is very much about my role in service to do.
Well, it's more than that because I'm putting words into your mouth. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So push back if I'm wrong.
No.
But I feel like when you're on target on your mission of what you really came here to do, which you can feel it now. I mean, it's powerful, that you're almost possessed.
That's right.
You are, and people go, "Are you tired? Are you okay? You're working so much." It's like, I'm not working. I'm in the zone, and this zone feels like I'm floating at the float tank. It feels like this incredible space, and there isn't any victim. There isn't any. I feel my boundaries are upset. It's like, whoa, cool. What else can I create in here? Right?
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And being in the zone, and then for myself, is I know you're familiar with that feeling, and then kind of being co-zoned, being in zone with others. Because this is the part, like I worked for myself a long time ago, and I felt very much alone in that. Like, we've heard this term solopreneur, which I to me, I actually don't think it's a high resonance word, because we are interdependent. So even if we're working on our own, and I've conceived of this platform, but it's not me. It's all of us.
What about if it was soul entrepreneur?
Yeah, if you would, you're right. Let's reframe that.
I just wrote that down. I like that.
Yeah. Let's reframe that for sure. Yeah. So the, like, a lot of the energy I feel is in the co-creation, right?
So I want to let you know what some people are saying, but I want to talk about co-creation, because I think that's the stumbling block that most of the people that I work with have, because they get an idea and they don't know how to work together on it. But Judith McNellis is here, and she said, "This is very inspiring. Thank you both," and a little smiley face. And then Marianne St. Clair "It's wonderful to watch our gifts come together, breaks and blinders on or crack open and expand."
Yeah.
And then she also put, "Not tired when the energy is flowing through." So true. That's where I love the zone. I love to live in there as much as possible.
Yeah.
And then Heather Houston is here too, said, "Good rising." She was happy to be here. So let's go back to the co-creation, because I think I did the marketing plan for my group, did the marketing plan for humanities team. And that was a fascinating co-creation, because English wasn't the primary language. It was the secondary language for a big chunk of the participants. And it was so cool. The difficulty of it is if you have to have consensus. How do you do that without taking another year?
Right. Well, I appreciate that question, because I'll tell you, when I got the hit, I'm very much a both and person, by the way. So that's okay. So just put that out there, because that's how I'm going to answer this question in that context. Well, when I got the hit for Social Chrysalis, we were coming off the Ambassador Academy, and I thought, well, my first thought for a moment was, well, I'm going to talk about this with all the ambassadors, and we'll create the platform from the very beginning together. And then I got a nudge, and I'm going to attribute it to Barbara, who was on the other side of the veil at that point, that basically said, "No, Stephen, just go for it. Build out, like, your vision for it is what needs to manifest right now, and you don't need a committee for that. Just do it, and then invite people in." So that's to say, like, we can work with self-agency, and then we can bring in the collaborations when it actually feels right.
Right. Right.
You know, so because there is a blend of I mean, let's go back to the solopreneur or the soulpreneur idea, where you know our individual gifts and genius must express, and then joining genius must express. So it really is both and if there are, I think it's appropriate for us to work at times. I won't say alone, but in solitude.
Well, get the project done, get the infrastructure done, so that the rest can happen. Is that what you mean?
That's exactly it. Yeah. I mean, there's a whole like the vision for how I saw it coming, just manifesting that first phase was basically the hit that I got. Steven, just do it. You know what it is. Do it, and then you can invite people in and begin the co-creative part.
Yeah.
So not everything has to be a committee decision at all. I actually, that's not an evolved way of working. It's both the individual contribution blended with the co-creation as time goes on, and that's going to ebb and flow too. I mean, it's the way nature does it as well.
Well, we got Anna Marie came from South Africa. Hi, Anna Marie. So we've got. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just am excited.
Sure, I'm glad there are people.
Okay, so when we're talking about co-creation, though, and what you saw with Barbara's model, because and I hope you don't feel that this detracts from what we're talking about social capitalists, but I think this could be a class on the platform, because I think there isn't really a model. You have the consensus, or you have the nonprofit view of co-creation, where there is somewhat a competition built into it. It's kind of weird. Right. And then you have Barbara's model, or you have Lynn Twist, who has the power of 8. You have these other models that are, there's a lot of people that have these small group models that you sort of rotate the leadership. In fact, Ron and Victoria Friedman have a program like that. So it's kind of interesting to see how do you see this new, because that's our evolution of species. First you do your inner work and you create your outer environment, then you find other resonant beings, right? So how do you see that it's like the wheel, each person brings their unique genius to the group and then they co-create in the middle? Or do you see that it's one person brings their genius and gets collaboration?
Yes.
I guess that was a stupid question, but
no, not at all.
Do you see what I mean? Because I think that's the missing part. I really do for our next league.
Yeah, so this is a really important point, and I think this is where we're all those of us working in this realm can get caught up, because we automatically think, well, we have to be fully inclusive. And we've got to include everybody all the time. And if we exclude, somehow that's wrong, or it's bad, or there's some judgment around it. And I feel like what's really been important to me lately is paying attention to the intuition about who best to engage when. And I'm really listening to the inner voice. And then and really Barbara's influence in that too. I mean, anybody who worked with Barbara over the years, if you worked with her extensively, she didn't include everybody all the time.
Right.
And it wasn't, and it was out of the necessity to get things done. I mean, even in regardless of what kind of structures we work in, not everybody's in the room for every single decision every single time.
Right.
It's we wouldn't get anything done.
You have to build trust with whatever the project is in an alignment, or else that causes waves. Donna Rose put, co-creation is so very enriching personally and globally, and is essential to an evolving conscious world.
Beautiful.
And Judith put, I want to be a bridger dash catalyst. She is.
Yeah. Well, you know, yeah. So yeah, we are we're bridge builders for sure. Yeah, I was having a conversation with somebody about that yesterday, about like the bridge building is from the old paradigm to new paradigm.
Yeah.
It takes a bridge and takes bridge builders.
Well, it's almost the bridge language is what, because that's what all this work with Joe Dispenza, and I just got to be at a VIP event with Greg Braden, and what's happening with science and quantum science now, proving spirituality, or proving what the indigenous already knew, or putting different language to it, that there is a bridge. There is a way to explain things using quantum theory, and using those terms are creeping into the mainstream language now.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And that's I'm glad you brought that word up, because the one of the visions, or what I feel like my mission is, to help mainstream conscious evolution.
Wow.
Like, it's this, you know, Barbara conceptualized of this, and she's really the mother of the field of conscious evolution.
Right.
Really is. And you know, it had pockets, and it's had pockets of traction through time, and then now it's like we really need to mainstream the concept of conscious evolution.
Perfect.
And it doesn't necessarily mean 100% will be on board with it, but it's that tipping point, right? It's getting enough people to contribute to the big shift.
Well, you are contributing, and this is, I see it as a renaissance. We've been in the dark ages, and now there's enough beings that came here for this specific mission to help as many people wake up to their divinity and to share their tools. The platform that you're offering is a way to learn and also to contribute. So it's got two benefits. It's a community of learners that you could do book study kind of groups with each one of the courses, because they're deep. They're, at least what I saw, I know Connie and Andrew have theirs on it. Do you want to talk a little bit about what you're offering? Or so that you launched on the 20th officially, right?
Correct.
Yay. Okay.
Yep. Correct. Yeah.
We scheduled this just right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're right on the heels of the launch.
And I wish I could show. I don't know how to show your screen. I apologize. The way
that's okay.
Live is set up.
Well, you've put the link in there. If you go there, it's pretty easy to navigate. So right now there are 6 courses that are live.
Great.
And then through the next several months, there will be more coming on board, because there's things actively in production. So Sharon Maloney was the first course. She wrote a book called Activate Your Female Power. And her personal mission is to restore the sacredness of the female body to the planet. And so her course is based on her book. And just, it's a really powerful way to become attuned. And even though it is meant for women, as a man who helped her produce the course, I think as a man, you could take that course and you can get a lot out of it as well. But it really is. Sharon does this great job of connecting the Earth's ecosystem with the ecosystem of the female body, and that really care for one means care for all. Care for the body means care for the Earth, and if we're treating the Earth badly, likely we're treating our bodies badly. So we really need to become in alignment. So that's one course. And then Rebecca Becker, who is the executive director of a group called Raising the Vibe. Her course is Find Your Unique Gifts and Higher Purpose. And that's a neat one, because it's a survey of different modalities that people can learn more about, or can institute in order to become more self-aware and more in tune with their purpose. So she talks about human design. She talks about the gene keys. She talks about the Enneagram, and she's interviewing experts for each of these modalities. So that's a neat course. Leanne and Gina have a course called the Inner Course, which is about the business of creation and the creation of business. So they go through what they call their meta process to help build up businesses and entrepreneurs. You already mentioned Connie and Andrew with the Dance of Souls.
Yes.
And they subtitle that course The Relationship Revolution. So that course is very much about, like, what are we learning from our relationships with others? You know, and are the agreements that we've made to be on earth at this time in relationship with certain people, and getting beyond and learning from the shadows as well as the joys of those relationships. Yeah. So that's I'll challenge you, that course. But it's important. It's like really important for us to consciously evolve, to really become attuned to why we're in relationship with certain people in certain ways, and how we can actually heal and transcend the muck, if you will. But Connie and Andrew do a beautiful job with that course. Robert Novak has a course called Increasing Consciousness Through Body Energetics, Wisdom, and Love. And he takes you through a series of exercises really to just get more deeply in tune with yourself and the power of your own consciousness. And then those are all evergreen courses, by the way, so you can take those on demand at your own convenience. And then there's one live course we're starting on March 4th over 8 weeks, called Creative Aging. So yeah, so it's all about, like, what it means to age consciously and to contribute to conscious evolution, bringing all of the wisdom of yourself and all of the wisdom of your years, and that life, doesn't end at retirement.
That's Barbara.
Yeah.
That's definitely coming through the Barbara channel.
Yeah, absolutely. So
yeah, I mean, she was amazing that way with the aging. I mean, every time I would see her, I got to go to her 85th birthday party at a beautiful home here in Boulder. And I mean, she had the excitement and the enthusiasm of an 8-year-old.
Yeah. No, I think right. Yeah.
And every day excited, and what could it be? And I really saw that her, because when she was talking about being the new human.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that? Are all of these courses on the path to being the new human? Are they supporting that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Goal as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Barbara said the thing. She talked about feeling newer every day, right? It wasn't about getting older; it was about being newer. Okay. And it's like, wow, what a reframe, because it's what we need. Is when we wake up in the morning, like, what is it that's new about me today? What's the day going to present that's going to contribute to my own evolution? And that's very much about being newer. It's not about being older.
Right. Right.
So yeah, it's really a perfect reframe for the journey of human life.
Yes.
And how we contribute.
The other thing that I knew that I've benefited from Barbara's work is knowing about the field and using that concept through Co-Creators Convergence. We've got Jade Rader and Cheryl Stegman on, who have been to Co-Creators. Basically, what we do is we set the field. A lot of the people that go to Co-Creators Convergence have been taking a lot of classes with Barbara before she passed, and we're close to her. Yeah. And so but you walk into this field and it's pure love. I mean, and that's what I think you're building online.
Yeah. Yep. I am.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. Yeah, and supporting people in that, the continued encouragement of that, because as you know, in these times that are very divisive in all sorts of different sectors.
Right.
We really need to be reminded of the power of love, and it's not, it's, you know, and it's really, it's the absolute strength we have.
Right.
You know, it's not at all about being meek.
Right.
It's the greatest strength we have, and we need to be reminded to show up that way.
I think that once you reframe your life as that everything's happening for me, rather than not for me or against me, then you start looking for clues of that, right?
Right.
And that's what Barbara did so beautifully. I don't know if that was part of what she was journaling every morning, that she would capture the clues and then share them. But I just would like to have her articulate gene, whatever that was.
Yeah, sure.
Unbelievable how profoundly articulate she was, even at 89 years old. Because I saw her just a couple months before she passed, and she was bright, shiny. So,
and journaled every day. I mean, this is the thing, is that she taught us that we all have that ability to connect to the higher self and capture the wisdom, you know. So so we all have it, and it's a practice. It's absolutely a practice.
So Judith put amen at that. And Trish DeBrito Young said, that's my music, bridging the gap with love.
Yeah.
So that's it. Everyone has genius. And this is a new platform that it's just been created with digital brains and love.
That's right. That's right. Yep. That again, that was another one of Barbara's things, right? It's like love plus technology, you know, plus consciousness.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the opportunity to expand your knowledge, expand your heart space, expand your influence, and to allow other people to benefit from your genius is now available on this site. And it's going to only grow from here. There's 6. It just launched last week. So you guys are seeing that it's doing diapers. Right. It's still a baby. Hi, Don. Don Lynch is here from Mexico. But what we want to do is we want to let you know that this is an opportunity to house your courses off your site and benefit from the community that Stephen is creating. And is there anything else that you'd like? I keep putting up the site. I apologize, you guys, if I knew how to put it on the screen, I would. You'll have to go to that link in order to see what he's got.
Yeah. No, I'm just looking forward to it continuing to blossom, right? So you said, you know, we're in the baby stage, and you know, and I feel the acceleration. I mean, it's like we are really living in accelerated times out of necessity, and to have this opportunity to contribute to it it feels so sacred to me. And you know, if you're somebody who's developed a program or has written a book or has gotten a workshop and you want to take it to the next level online, I invite you to reach out to me as well, because I'm continuing to build the catalog of courses as time goes on. So if your work is based in the principles of conscious evolution, for sure, let's talk.
So Jade Raider says, sounds wonderful. I will take a look. And then Trish put shared. So thank you guys. Is there anything else that you'd like to share about we're talking about 2020 being accelerated. We're talking about platform being part of it. Are you seeing like 2021 or 2222?
Right. Yeah.
2022. How are you seeing these times as far as the chaos is? And I don't watch TV, so I'm not watching the news and watching the just whatever you want to call it, the show.
Sure, sure.
But,
Yeah, the drama that's playing out.
I really am got my blinders on, want to help as many people wake up to their divinity, and I'm helping all these people get out. So I'm not paying attention to that, but you can feel it in the field.
Oh, absolutely.
So do you have any suggestions for this new time to anchor?
Yeah.
This?
Well, the thing that comes to me when you ask the question is to really consciously select to be part of the new story. Like select yourself in the new story rather than selecting yourself back into the old one or the dying one, because this is really what's happening. It's like the death throes of all of these old paradigms, and it's very easy to get sucked up in that.
Right.
Like and like self-select to be in the new story, self-select to be of encouragement, to be of guidance, to be of support to others who might be struggling, because it's really it's not about like leaving everyone else behind, regardless of what they're selecting for themselves, but just to be compassionate. Right. and to choose to be in the new story, choose to be an author of the new story. Right. And all of the tools that you've learned, like meditation, mindfulness, making affirmations, seeing yourself enfolded in the light and others in the light, like all of the culmination of all of those things are helpful. So just keep your practices going and be an author of the new story. And
find others that resonate with you and support that. I mean, this is the other part. Oh, Judith put aware compassion, and Trish put that's why the need for our work is so huge now. I feel that the need, I feel that this is the reason I came here, this time period right now, because there's so many people waking up, and as the old institutions are going to be revealed, there's going to be a need for new leaders and new teachers that are trustworthy, that are working from a different awareness of life and potentiality. And I feel we're all creator gods. Yeah. And anything, so what you're doing in the courses that you're sharing are going to help people wake up more and more and more to what their gift is, and help the whole field change. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, all of our contributions are essential for that. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, like I said, it's all about, like, my mission feels very much about like mainstreaming conscious evolution, and right. and we all can contribute to that. So right, and choosing not being a victim, because that's the global consciousness we're in, is releasing that global consciousness, disengaging from it, really, and then picking how do you best. First, you have to love yourself, which is the inside work creates the outside of everything. Yeah. So that's where it all happens, right? Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Take care of yourself too, because this is another conversation I had with somebody yesterday, is that, and we all know this, but we're the old paradigm tries to convince us that, like, oh, we've got to sacrifice, or we've got to martyr ourselves in order to really be of ultimate service. Mm-hmm. And really, we've got to take care of ourselves. Like, right. Going back to that, like, love is strength. To feel that strength, we need to be able to take care and nurture ourselves and put ourselves first sometimes, in order to then show up more powerfully, with the next day or the next hour or whatever it is. So, yeah, I mean, that's a really big lesson I've learned over time too, is the importance of that. Well, that's what I mean about victimization. I mean, I feel that especially women do this so much because we've been taught it's selfish to take care of us, and that's not the truth. It's and they used to say, if mama's not happy, nobody's happy. There's a reason why, because you really have to take care of yourself so that you have enough energy to share with others. You can't really give from an empty right. So,
Right.
so I don't know. Judith wrote Julie Kroll, who I did tag in here, but I don't see her, so I'm not sure why Judith wrote that. But I do want her to see this. And anyway, so is there anything else as far as best way to reach you, Stephen? Because I want to make sure that people, if they have the burning desire to get their work out and they don't have a platform, which some of us do, some of us don't.
Right.
Or if they want to put even if they wanted to just put one of their programs, if they have a platform and they have several programs, but they want to put one of them on and that way test it out, that's a good way to do it. Besides going to the site, how is the best way for them to reach you?
You can, just my email is stephen@dynako.com.
Okay.
So STEPHEN at DYNAKO.com.
Okay.
I mean, I'm on Facebook, so if you search me on Facebook, you can messenger me there as well. Twitter, as well as Nectar, which is the conscious social network that Barbara was involved in. But yeah, so email or just social media contact. I'm on LinkedIn too, of course. So messaging me through any of those channels.
And the other thing, Stephen didn't boast again because he's really humble and modest, but he is an amazing coach as well. I mean, he was teaching classes with Barbara Marx Hubbard. So this is somebody, today we're talking about this technology platform that's an opportunity. If you're a light worker, if you're a teacher, if you're a guide, you feel strongly you want to be in group, this is the perfect platform for you. But also you have to understand the person behind it is a great resource for you to navigate.
Yeah. Thanks, Kathy. Yes. Yeah. And I sort of reframe my coaching now like as genius coaching, because I really like seeing the genius in the other. Mm-hmm. And it's hard for us sometimes. Like we don't always see it for ourselves. So like, yeah, I feel like even my coaching model has shifted working with Barbara, because my desire is to bring out the genius in others. So if that's one aspect of what I'm doing in the coaching.
You are. That's why I want to. I mean, again, you're so humble. You won't brag for you.
No, I say thank you. Thank you for having my back on that. I appreciate it.
Well, we didn't want, because this is, you can tell the frequency and the other people that are working with Stephen, they're very high frequency, very loving, very conscious, and very in touch with higher realms.
Yeah.
So what you're getting is an opportunity to see something probably early. This is again, the baby's in diapers.
That's right.
But this is the time to get in, right?
Yeah. So, it's going to grow up fast.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. That's my intention, is to help you grow it. So.
Yeah. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. So we need to sign off. Anything else you want to say? Great time. Thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you, and thank you for everyone who's watching, who came in. I appreciate your presence, and let's co-evolve.
Yes, it's time, and there's no if there's a desire, if your heart is desiring to find your tribe, to find the knowledge that you need to make the next steps, to have the courage to work through the obstacles that your soul thought would be easy to do. Ha, ha, ha. This is a great opportunity between Stephen's work and the work that's on Social Chrysalis could be the key that unlocks the rest of you. So with that, thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Please share. Thank you.
Thanks, Kathy.
Uh-huh.